All right, so this is the last day of reveals and I guess of reviews. We got the final dump here in 5 hours and 57 minutes. There's gonna be one more card revealed, and then they'll do the final dump. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into things. Oh my god, just announced Primordial Studies, a 1-mana dual class spell here for Shaman and for Mage. Primordial Studies, discover a spell damage minion. Your next one costs 1 less. This is so good, because I feel like these decks are leaning towards spell damage builds. I'm, I guess, a bit biased because I really love Burn Shaman. I've been playing the crap out of Burn Shaman, and this is gonna fit right in there. You get to choose a spell damage minion for the right scenario. This does cost 1 mana, but your next minion's gonna cost 1 less. So very, very good. You can kind of maybe have 3 Squall Hunters, right? Within Shaman, and then within Mage, maybe you get an extra 1/3 with spell damage, or maybe you get an extra Thalnos. And then also there are so many ways within Mage to generate this off of random generation, evocation, mana cyclone. Very, very exciting. My god, I like this. And then we have that new dual class legendary that does extra damage based, or does damage to entire board based on your spell damage, right? So I think we might be seeing some spell damage Shaman in the meta, and I guess spell damage Mage as well. I'm more excited about Shaman for some reason. But yeah, this is just a great card in Mage, because it just puts it in the pool, similar to Brain Freeze for Mage, where I don't think you actually run this in your deck unless you are some sort of spell damage mage. But you're going to be happy to get this off of the RNG again. The evocation, the mana cyclone, the magic tricks. This will be fine. Also fits into spell mage. Kind of a little bit of a buff to spell mage, perhaps, because you can run minions without actually running minions. So you still get the value off of your Apexis Blast. You still get the value off of the minion generation card. But again, my excitement for Shaman is higher. I might actually run this in my Shaman deck. And yeah, my god, Primordial Studies. Very, very cool card. I think I'm gonna give this I would give this 3.5 to 4 stars, but I'm gonna go with 4 stars here. Trueaim Crescent is a weapon, a 1-mana 1/4 for Demon Hunter and Hunter. So it's a dual class weapon, and after your hero attacks a minion, your minions attack it too. Now I think this is actually, when I first saw it, I was excited, but it's actually kind of hard to make a call on this one for some reason. With Demon Hunter, your minions are often, you know, they're kind of low health, and you want them to hit your opponent in the face. You want to be very aggressive. So if you have a Battle Fiend on the board and you have this, you almost don't want to hit one of your opponent's minions, because maybe you're gonna end up suiciding your Battle Fiend, right? You want that thing to stick around, hit your opponent in the face. It's gonna have high attack and low health, and you don't want that trading into something. If you have the new dual, or the new dual class legendary, Kreen or whatever, Ace Hunter, whatever his name is, and your minions are immune, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be fantastic, right? Your minions will be immune. You'll kill something, and then they can also go face. This also gives your minions a fake rush, which is nice in many scenarios. But again, often this might end up being a little bit awkward, and something you're like, oh shoot, I really wanted to hit that minion, but I don't want my minions to hit it, because then they're gonna die. Another thing is, we don't know yet how minions attack with this thing. Is it random? I would hope it's like left to right, so maybe positioning becomes a thing. That way you just keep your Battle Fiend on the far right, and when you place minions, maybe put something with low attack, high health on the far left or something. If that's the case, and you can calculate how your minions attack, this thing would be a lot better than if it's random, like a mass hysteria sort of thing. That's kind of looking at it from the Demon Hunter side. Looking at it from the Hunter side, where maybe use it with the Primordial Explorer, so you have a poison minion to attack. This is going to be great. Again, a lot of it depends on if this is random, like a mass hysteria, or if it's set like a left to right thing. If it's left to right, this weapon's pretty good. If it's not, I could see this kind of really messing with you. Again, with the Ace Hunter, fantastic. But there are many other scenarios where you almost just don't want this weapon. Maybe you're not going to get too much value out of this and you want to equip a Warglaves. Or maybe you want to equip a Desert Spear, which I think might be a little bit better than this. So it's an interesting weapon. It gives your minions rush. And if you pull a rush minion and you play it that turn, you attack with it, you can use this, hit something, and then it'll attack again, I assume, which is pretty cool. So you can push a lot of damage onto minions. It's kind of a weird one. I think this is like 3 stars for me. The order of attack, very important. This could go to 4 or to 2 stars, but I'll drop it at 3 for now. We got Guardian Animals, a Druid and Hunter spell here for 7 mana with with summon 2 beasts that cost 5 or less from your deck, and you give them rush. Now there's not really many minions that kind of make this worth. It's kind of weird because you have to build your deck around this spell. You don't want to be pulling 2 or 3 or 4 mana minions. I guess, well, pulling 2 4s wouldn't be, you'd save 1 mana, it'd get them rush. I don't know. You generally want to hit 5 cost minions in order to make this worth. Or I guess pulling like Mana Sabers, I feel could probably be the best case scenario. The thing is, do you consistently pull those Mana Sabers? By the time you play this, like you're probably going to have drawn 1 Mana Saber. And then what other minions are you going to be rushing? Or running rather, that kind of make this worth. I don't really see this getting any action anywhere. Not in Druid, not in Hunter. Maybe if they reveal some more nice beasts around 4 or 5 mana, but then you're gonna kind of have to structure your deck to have only 4 and 5 cost beasts. You don't want to be pulling 2, 3 cost beasts off of this. Unless they have Poison and Divine Shield or something like that. That might be pretty decent. But in Standard, I don't see this getting much play right now. Maybe with more expansions coming out and more beasts coming out, this thing could be pretty good. But at its 7 mana cost, I think this is not great. I think this gets like a 2 or 1 star, honestly. I'd say I'm gonna give it a 2, but I'd say 1.5. All right, we got Ancient Void Hound here, a 9 mana 10/10 demon for Demon Hunter, which is incredibly good stats. And at the end of your turn, steal 1 attack and health from all enemy minions. I hate to say it, but it's almost like this is a better Gruul. It is a demon, so it can be cheated out in many ways using Demon Hunter with I believe the Fell Summoner, or pulling it out with the Battle Master or whatever, that taunt guy. But it's, I don't know, man. I don't think you really want to run that as Demon Hunter. Again, I'm going to mess with a meme big Demon Hunter where you're running stuff like this. And I would love to have this and then like Warrior or in a dual Paladin. But this is a Demon Hunter card. And Demon Hunter is good at being more aggressive and tempo and not so much at control. So I don't really see this card getting any play. If you cheat it out, could be pretty nice, but then your whole deck has to be structured around cheating out big minions, and then you're kind of just getting rid of what makes Demon Hunter so strong. So I'm excited for this, but as far as being competitively viable, I'm going to say this is probably not going to happen. But my God, this thing could get massive. We're going to see some crazy large Ancient Void Hounds, and it only steals attack and health from enemy minions, doesn't hit your side of the board. So an interesting little AoE effect here. Could be a 9 mana 17/17, right? I'm gonna give this card like 3 stars. I would say this is almost 2.5 for Demon Hunter. We got Lord Barov here, a 3 mana 3/2 with Battlecry. Set the health of all other minions to 1 with the death rattle of deal 1 damage to all minions. So really, really good. The battle cry is old equality, and this is a warrior paladin card. So paladin kind of hurting from the equality nerf, right? And now it's kind of getting it's getting it back a little bit, a little 50% refund, in addition to a 3/2 body. The death rattle Maybe a little bit awkward for Paladin, but you don't really need to care about the death rattle that much. I think you're mostly going to be using this for that battle cry. What is it? Librum of Justice, very, very good, because it sets the health of all enemy minions to 1, and then you get to trade in with your Silverhand recruits or any other minions you have on board, or use a Consecration or use a Pyromancer. So I think you're gonna slot this into those kind of decks. It does fit in a pure Paladin, which is really, really good. I don't think Paladin has great ways to trigger this guy's death rattle. I mean, you can hit it with the Hammer of Justice, but other than that, it's kind of hard to trigger this death rattle, right, within Paladin. But with Warrior, well, you can slam it. You can just play this thing and then Whirlwind to clear your opponent's board. You can play this and use a Blade Storm to clear the board. Aside from this guy, you could Shield Slam this guy. You can Sword and Board this guy. There's a lot of ways to benefit off of the Battle Cry and the Death Rattle for Warrior. But again, for Paladin, you're probably just using it mostly for that Battle Cry. Death Rattle, I don't think you really want to run this with the Hammer of Justice, but a really cool card nonetheless. I feel like it's going to see a ton of play within both classes. Actually, I think this card is amazing, and I think this is a 5-star card. Really, you can be seeing a lot of this until it rotates. We got Frost Warden Omu, a 6-mana 5/4 with Spell Burst. Refresh your mana crystals. So this is actually insane. When I first saw it, I wasn't too excited. I was like, oh, it's kind of expensive on the mana, but Germination, 4 mana, duplicate a minion and give it taunt, right? So that's a 10 mana combo. You play this, you play the Germination. What the Germination is going to do is make a copy of Omu that has not triggered the Spell Burst. The Spell Burst on your initial Omu will activate, refunding all of your mana. So you have 10 mana, you play this, you're down to 4 mana, you Germination. It's going to make an extra Omu. It's going to trigger the Spell Burst on your first Omu, leaving the Spell Burst on the second Omu. So you have 10 mana, you have 2 Omus, one of them where the Spell Burst has not been activated. Then you can play your Malygos, you're down to 1 mana. Then you can play a Moonfire. It's going to trigger the Spell Burst on your second Omu. And then that is going to refund your 10 mana again. And then all of a sudden you got 2 Omus on the board. You got Malygos. And you got 10 mana. You're down 1 Moonfire. But now you got 10 mana. What are you going to do? You're going to swipe, use your other Moonfire. You're going to swipe, Starfire, use your other Moonfire. You're going to Germination on your Malygos. Use another Moon. Use a swipe or a Starfire. There's a lot of different options you can go with here. And yeah, maybe Druid even gets another cheap spell that can go face. Hopefully not, honestly. I don't want Malygos Druid to be too much of a thing. Like a little bit of burst is great. An OTK, generally not fun to play around. Thank goodness we're getting a little bit of hand disruption, but at the same time, unfortunately, a lot of that hand disruption is coming from Demon Hunter only, right? Mostly just Demon Hunter disruption. So I guess that'll keep some combo decks in check. But yeah, Frost Warden Omu, I could see this card being really like a design issue in the future. That kind of makes it difficult for people to or for the developers to kind of design around. So kind of a busted card here in my opinion. 5 stars, a combo card, generally not going to be played as a, I don't know, as like in any Druid deck, just in combo decks, mostly Malygos from what I'm thinking. Maybe some sort of other combos can be achieved using this thing with maybe discounting these with your satyrs. Well, you could discount this, you could discount your Malygos. I think your combos can get even more out of hand. But again, a combo card, really good combo card, fits in a deck that's built around it. Druid is good at just cycling through its deck, getting to its combo, and having a bunch of survivability tools to get there in the first place. So I could see this being very, very frustrating. Or we got High Abbess Alura, a 4-mana 3/6. If you haven't seen this, the video for this, it's fantastic. I recommend you watch it. Really well made, very funny. I'm not being paid to say this. And yeah, I kind of see this as more of a paladin card right now, but again, it seems like they're leaning towards like a buff priest sort of build. And in buff priest, you know, if you play this card, oh, did I even talk about it? It's a 4-mana 3/6 with spell burst. Cast a spell from your deck, targets this if possible, right? So if you're playing priest, you play this card, you use, I don't know, Apoth, and maybe this is going to cast another Apoth on itself, or it's going to cast a Grave Rune, or it's going to cast the Split and make another one of these, or it can cast the Divine Shield and make a copy of this. So I think in the right priest deck, this will be great, but if you're running Galakrond Priest and this ends up time ripping itself, that's not great. If it ends up Shadow Word painting itself, that's not great. So this doesn't fit in most of the current priest archetypes, but within a deck that's built just for this, I could see it working out fantastically. With Paladin, this seems a little bit better because we can envision it with the current archetypes. So, you know, hitting a Blessing of Kings on this thing after you play a Blessing of Wisdom or a Libram of Wisdom is fantastic. Hitting this with the Libram of Hope, you get a free, you know, 8/8 Divine Shield taunt in addition to possibly healing this. If you hit it with just the Libram of Wisdom, it can pull your other Libram of Wisdom, which after this dies, then it'll be in your hand. So it kind of pulls it out from your deck, which is fantastic. Hitting it with the Divine Shield dupe. I don't know if I talked about that or I talked about that for Priest. You know, hitting it with Hand of Adal, which will give you an extra card draw, right? Pretty good. Now, where this ends up being a little bit meh, maybe casting Libram of Justice, which really isn't that bad. And I guess in some situations, you might actually want that scenario to happen. But maybe you're trying to save those Librams of Justice for the right moment in a certain matchup. So pretty good, though, nonetheless. Maybe pulling your Consecration. Maybe you wanted to save that for when they swarm the board. But I guess in those situations, you're going to have to calculate on how many spells are in your deck. Do you really want to possibly waste a Consecration, possibly waste a Libram of Justice, and play accordingly? So I do like this card a lot. I think this gets 4 stars from me. Very, very fun card. Very cool mechanic. And I think that's it. Again, we got the final dump now in 4 hours and 39 minutes, which is going to be even less by the time I get this video out. If you guys enjoyed, thank you for watching my reviews. I'll probably do a review of the final dump, or maybe I'll just talk about my top cards from the set and like my least favorite cards from the set. I'm not sure. Reviewing the final dump is generally, it's a lot to go over, and for some reason those videos underperform for me. So good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.